Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late nights.
Welcome to another episode of One Step at a Time with your boy, the Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with zero delays. Guys, if you haven't liked and follow, that would mean a lot. And if you felt you enjoyed it, be sure to give it the 5 stars if you enjoyed it. And essentially it just pushes out to as many people as possible. And if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more. So yeah, today's episode. What do I want to cover on today's episode? Don't know where you're listening to this. Maybe you're walking through a forest at night time and the sun in the forest night time. You're walking through a forest and the moon's in and you have your headphones on and you're in the zone. Or maybe you're going to work. Who knows? That's the beauty of podcasts and music. You just don't know the setting people are listening to. But yeah, what do I want to get into today? Today's podcast is going to revolve around exercise / me chatting about my jogging journey. Jogging journey, that is a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Jogging journey. So yeah, wowzers, where do we begin? So for anyone who may follow me on the media of social media, or anyone that knows me knows that I'm very invested into jogging. I try to jog every day. Probably usually try to do mostly every day, maybe 6 times a week to 5 to 6 times a week, essentially taking them days, rest days. And it's been an integral part of my life for just 3.5 years. Wow, 3.5 years. Yeah, wowzers. So yeah, it's been a fucking crazy journey. Lots of highs and a couple of lows. To be honest, now just thinking, I'm very grateful because I've been very good with my body, that I haven't picked up any major injuries, apart from the one with the marathon, which was completely my own fault, and I kind of brought that upon myself. Apart from that, I've been very lucky the last 3.5 years that I've kept the body in good condition. I haven't really, I guess that's kind of down to keeping, 1, eating well and just looking after my body, and 2, I haven't actually pushed it too hard. I'm not a lot of I would call myself a part-time athlete, which as time moves forward, hopefully I could call myself an athlete. I guess once I level up, which is plenty of room there to level up, I guess you could say, because if I do start doing more marathons regularly and ultra marathons and Ironmans and all that, hiking and all that lit stuff that I feel is the next chapter of my life. Not right now, just because I just have so much going on that I wouldn't have the time and effort and heart and passion and resources to invest into taking that that big leap into being a fucking proper athlete. Because being a proper athlete is no joke. No joke at all. The fucking lads who run and women and all whatnot, and just run ultra marathons and doing Ironmans and just next level stuff. But anyhow, yeah, I like to call myself a part-time athlete. So my journey of jogging, wow. So a little bit of a backdrop and just, I guess, draw the landscape of where it comes from. So essentially, when I was a kid, I used to always do football and play a lot of football. Actually, what's interesting is that you'll find me probably referencing things from my childhood and my teenage years probably regularly now that I think about it, because it even feels like I'm starting to, only 5 in, I feel like I'm starting to point out. And I guess it's because I've spent a lot of time delving into what things mean, essentially. Guys, sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right when I delve into my own life, I guess, because I'm not qualified in these things. Preface it, I am not a qualified person. I'm just the Ocean Flight 111 heading straight to full potential with zero delays. But when I delve into different things in my life, I think I can objectively say that shifted this and so on and so forth. So when I was young, I played a lot of sport when I was a kid. Played a lot of sport. Was always active, and active with a capital A, was always active. And I played a lot of Gaelic, a lot of soccer, and I was regularly exercising, like every week I was exercising since I was from the ages of like from like 8 to like 18, 19 I was exercising every day, apart from like the off, well no, I was going to say apart from off times in Gaelic, but that's not the truth, because I would have been playing soccer in Gaelic. So I was playing sport 20 like the whole time, because the Gaelic season would be from like February to October, and then soccer season would have been from like August, September to like April. So I was always kind of balancing soccer and Gaelic, and it was a huge passion of mine. Something that I've drifted away from. I feel like I will drift back into it. Definitely want to be active and play some Gaelic while I'm still like in the prime of my physical. Something that I do intend on doing maybe next year, playing just a little bit of Gaelic just for the fun of it, because I do want to like make the most of my being in the prime of my body, and having a fresh body. Like, it'd be cool to go back obviously in like 4 or 5 years time and whatnot, but like I got a nice like 4 or 5 year window where my body's like perfect essentially, like for the most part, like. So I was like, I definitely make the most of it. So I definitely do want to play a little bit of Gaelic or junior or something. So I probably will do that next year, and I'll probably like, even if I played like 3 or 4 games, I'd be like so gassed and happy with myself. So that's definitely something I want to do, because that's the thing with the body, is like the mind and spirit lives, well, I'd say the spirit lives forever and goes on to the next realm and whatnot. And even your mind, if you can take good care of your mind, should I say, then you can get to like 80, 90 and whatnot. But the bod, well, yeah, you take great care of the bod, but the bod in terms of like being an athlete, in terms of pushing it, like I would say you have a certain window of like being in your prime. Definitely can have longevity with it, but being in your prime, you do have a certain window, which is unfortunate, but it's almost like a reminder, hey, use it when you got it. So definitely want to play some GA or something. So I would have played lots of GA and soccer, which kept me physically active, and again mentally active, because the two, in my opinion, go hand in hand together. Just the idea of, I have training Tuesday, I have a match Wednesday. It's like that known, number one, you have to do it because you don't want to let anyone down, your teammates. So like, even when you're feeling shitty, you still go and you play that game or that training session, and you always feel better after it. So I would have played a lot of Gaelic and a lot of soccer, and then I ended up stopping that, which in hindsight I don't regret it, but like I was like, shouldn't have stopped it. But I like, at the same time, I don't regret it, because I started focusing on more music. Because while I could balance both, it was more the mentalities that were hard to balance. Like, one hand was the mentality of like chasing a dream and being, inverted commas, outcast, versus maybe the mentality of GA and the culture that may be surrounded with that. So it was definitely opposites, I would say, in terms of mentality. In terms of like balancing time wise, definitely could have done it. But anyhow, so for a good few years, I wasn't. I went from like actively moving my body and being, so consistent with being physically active, active being the word, yeah, to not doing anything. And when I would have went through like probably my most darkest periods, then I didn't have anything to rely on in terms for the body. So that was like extra tough, and I didn't realize how much I didn't realize, because it was something I did my entire life. It was like breathing, essentially, playing football. And I was it wasn't just, there was so many levels to it, because one, it was being active and physically moving my body and being consistent with that. But number two, it was the competitiveness, because I had such a competitiveness within me that I always wanted to win. I had to win. That stands for many things, but that dying hunger to win. I want to win. I want to beat whoever is in front and win. So that kind of got replaced a little bit with music, because that rapper mentality, like, not music's not competitive, but rap is competitive, I would say. Well, music's kind of competitive too, but it shouldn't be, I guess, in the long run. So anyhow, when I went through my roughy duff periods, and boy, geez, they were rough. All of a sudden, I didn't have anything to move my body or to push my body into, to get all my good chemicals rolling, my dopamines and serotonins and all that good stuff, or get all that stress, that carousel. Is it carousel? I'm gonna have to come back to that. Where's my researcher at, making sure I get that done, guys? I'm the researcher. Anyhow, well, it would be dope when I get a researcher. If anyone's out there looking for an apprenticeship, apply now, Martin. Oh, I'm joking. I'm joking for now, anyways. So I wasn't doing anything exercise or football or any sports wise for years. And I didn't really have any plan to. Not really. I remember one time I was living in Dublin. And again, unfortunately, another terrible period. As these podcasts go, you will see why I'm so proud of myself. Even if like sometimes it can be difficult for someone to see the progress through their lens. But as I guess I kind of go forth with these podcasts, you'll understand why I do feel pretty proud of myself from like periods of my life to where I am now. And like so far to go, so far to go, but I do have to take more time to like cop on and go, Martin, fuck me, there were some dark times. And now they're a good bit brighter. So, when I was living in Dublin first time round, I was in this small apartment. One of my good friends, shout out him. I don't know if he wants to be mentioned, so I won't say his name, but shout out the legend that I lived with. But unfortunately, I didn't leave that house much, and it was just a very dark period. And to paint the picture, I suppose what might paint the picture. It was a small apartment. Now we were very blessed to have the apartment, and if I looked after it, then it would have been a lovely environment. But it was just essentially, you know, when you first move out of your house and you're in your own house, and you're like, oh, if I trust something on the ground, someone doesn't pick it up. I have to pick it up myself. So it got a bit messy, to say the least. I'll put it that way. I'll put it nicely. It got a bit messy, and I was working in a pub at the time, and while the pub was a great job and whatnot, and it served its purpose, and I met some lovely people, it probably wasn't the best thing to be doing in the position I was in, considering that at the time I'd built up some savings, and I moved to Dublin for music, and I had moved to Dublin, but I wasn't really doing any music. I was just working a job that was at night time. I'd wake up at like 2 o'clock in the day, 3 o'clock in the day. It'd be dark outside. Just some dark days in that apartment. But essentially then one day I remember like thinking, oh, I could go for a jog. And I kind of woke up, looked outside, it was raining, and then decided not to. So that was like the first thought, I guess, of jogging, where it kind of came from. Fast forward really then to about a year and about 2 years, maybe 18 months, where I was living in Dundurm. I was living in Dundurm at the time, and I just broken up with my girlfriend at the time, and there was that, and then there was like other stuff that was just kind of coming together and just stacking weights on top of my shoulders, essentially, that I just did not have the tools at the time to figure out, how do I deal with this? Hey, how do I deal with this? So that was happening, and one of my housemates at the time suggested that I go for a jog, because like I was down in the dumps, and he's like, you should go for a jog. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a jog, like, because that's what I do. I'm a jogger, lol. So I completely disregarded it, because I just didn't see myself as a jogger. Like a lot of new things, when you first are introduced to them, you've never done it before, it's hard to see yourself doing that. So completely disregarded that, and a couple of days went by, and I woke up one Sunday morning, and it was a bit dark, rainy outside, and for whatever reason in my mind, and I can't actually, like, it's so difficult to pinpoint, as someone who likes to pinpoint things, it's so difficult to like go back and identify what it was that made me do it. I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a jog. And I went for one. So this is January 2020. I went for one jog. Jeez, I only must have done like a kilometer. I'd say it was a kilometer, and I was fucked. Like I went for a jog in my not boohoo Bershka shoes. Yeah, because I didn't have running shoes. So I went for a jog in my Bershka shoes. Wowzers, not good for the feet, not good for any parts of the body really. So I went for a jog in my Bershka shoes and my Venice Beach hoodie. I remember very clearly. I don't remember what shorts I was wearing. Probably football shorts. But I was wearing my Venice Beach hoodie that I got when me and the Mama Bear went to LA. Shout out Maya for that. And I was wearing my Bershka shoes. And I just went for it, and fuck it, I did it. I did like a kilometer or something, and I was fucked. I don't think I even had headphones. I might have had earphones on me. And it was in the local park, one of the local parks in Dundurm. So anyhow, did that. I was like, whoa, I just went for a jog. That's fucking an accomplishment in itself. A mini accomplishment going for one jog, I guess, but accomplishment nonetheless, because I'd never gone for a fucking jog. Well, I'd gone for jogs like in football, and then a couple of random jogs in my life, but I never went with the intention of maybe, shit, I could like do this regularly. So I went for one jog, and then the day after, I was like, wow, I might as well just go for a second one. And then it kind of just started becoming a regular thing, and I kind of just got it into my head. They're like, if I jog, then like I could feel better. And that's essentially why I did it. I wanted to feel better. A lot of extra add-ons and things would be plussed onto that over time, but the essential reason I started jogging, I felt like rubbish, and I wanted to do something to make me feel better. Pushing my body physically was one. Having that discipline to do it, two, and how I saw myself. Because my self-image for like, poof, guys, I'm getting off relaxed here, just listening. When I went poof, I kind of sat back in my chair. Let me move my mic a little bit here now. Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, so basically, my self-image was just ruined throughout the years of intrusive thoughts and whatnot. It was just so difficult to build up a good self-image. Like basically, when I look in the mirror, having the person I wanted to see and believed stare back at me instead of this fake, artificial, dark, sometimes twisted from the thoughts view that I would have had of myself, just because I just couldn't control like the way I think, which is something that again delve into. Also, guys, this is just at the end of the day, like this is just my path and my learnings, and from what I find on my path, like take from it what you think is best and what you will. But at the end of the day, this is just like my path, and some of this might be a couple gems in there, probably a couple gems in there. But anyway, so myself, my image of myself is just in fucking tatters. And really need to improve it. So when I started jogging, I started like kind of becoming low-key obsessed with it. I would come home from work. I was working a lifestyle at the time. I would come home at like 5:30 and just... Did I change straight away? Yeah, I changed into my jogging clothes straight away and just went for a jog straight away. And as I started to do this every week... Now, something funny too, it's so stupid. I still was wearing the Bershka shoes. And I'm not even gonna admit how long I was wearing them for, because anyone who hears this would be like, man, you are a little stupid for doing that. But so I'm not gonna admit how long I was wearing them bloody Bershka shoes, but it was a good one. So anyway, was developing the habit, capital H for habit. Shout out James Clear. Great book incredible book on habits. Would highly recommend it. I can't remember off the top of the dome. I might just Google it while I'm here. But I'll put it in somewhere at the end, which is a great book on building habits, learning yourself and teaching yourself of what a good habit is, what a bad habit is, and how to make sufficient changes in habits, and how your habits essentially define you. And that's what jogging kind of slipped in. It kind of slipped in and became a habit, because a bad and negative and an impactful habit that was having a fairly substantial and pretty dreadful effect on me was smoking, because I was smoking rollies a little bit, and it's kind of a habit that's kind of dripped in, dripped out of my life. Smoked a little weed, but man, smoking cigarettes like since I was like, it's probably like 18. But I never smoked cigarettes like really heavy. I was never buying packs every day or every week. It would just kind of drift there in the background. Oh, cigarette here, cigarette there. Oh, cigarette every second day. Oh, that kind of way. I suppose the way every habit kind of does slip in. So that I kind of was flirting with that habit for so long, and still kind of am, if I'm quite honest with you. It still drips in, drips out of my life. Like when I'm super, super stressed, sometimes I start smoking cigarettes again. So I try to stay level headed when that happens, when I'm like ultra stressed, and not go back to cigarettes. So anyhow, January 2020. I've been smoking a little weed too. Around that period, like the bits, like the house I lived in, it was just ganja. The gold ganja was round and round, and some people perform well on ganja. It wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't perform at my highest form when I'm smoking anything. So definitely weed didn't help around that time. And it was just, yeah. Anyhow, but so I was kind of flirting back and forth with just smoking cigarettes. So that was dripping in a little bit. So kind of jogging kind of came at the perfect time, because I'm asthmatic anyways. And you just can't be a high performing, anyway, good jogger, or even feel good jogging if you're smoking. Like, it just, because like, and that's like, I've done that. I've gone in habits and times where I have been smoking and jogging, and you just feel it on the body. Like, it's like a weight, and it's not necessarily in your lungs you feel it. It's just you feel it in different parts almost, is how I would describe smoking and jogging. And not at the same time, obviously. That'd be terrible. Imagine you see some like jogger in like in a great outfit, and like Nike Pegasus, Adidas shorts, and one of them Illumas tops, maybe even cool glasses, headphones, and then they're smoking and rolling. What a juxtaposition. So was jogging building up that habit, and I remember one clear point. I remember when I think the habit really began to lock in, and it was January, and we were in town, me, Finn, and Nathan, Mr. Upbeat, WP Master, and Nathan Sheridan. Hey, that Nathan Sheridan guy, he's on the podcast, guys. Check out that episode, episode number 3, if you want to hear that great chat with Nathan Sheridan. Incredible chat, incredible individual, and I think Finn's going to pop up the whole time, so you'll be hearing a lot from Upbeat. So it was January 2020, and it was in Dublin. Let me set the scene. I'm working on lifestyle. I'm living in Dublin, the big smoke, Dublin city. And we were in, I think we were handing out posters or something for a gig. And so essentially, yeah, we were handing out posters, and we were going to do something that evening. There was like, I think we might have been going out drinking or something, or meeting a friend or someone else. But I was like, no, I have to go home and jog. And the lads were like, do you have to? And I was like, no, like, I have to go home and jog. Like, I have to do it. Because I'd set that in my mindset, and I was beginning to see myself as a jogger. Which, man, is such a nuts concept. When you haven't done something, you don't see yourself as that, and then you slowly making them incremental steps and making slow progress, but you begin seeing yourself as someone who does that. And that just comes from that raw consistency of doing. Don't think, just go. I spoke about that before. Don't think, just go. So, went home that evening and went for a jog, and it was dark, so I went to the local park, and I think I just did like 10 like rounds of like running around this like field or something, like it was a football field or something in the park. So that was, if I was to look back, that was a turning point. That was a turning point of, wow, this is becoming a habit. This is becoming a part of who I am. And it was. It really, really was. So I'm making all these steps with jogging, and then, oh God, it gets good, right? So one day I'm off work. I usually do my jogging in the evening. One day I'm off work, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go for a jog now in the morning. If I'm like, what else am I going to do? So I was thinking, right, I'll go for a jog when I wake up. And boom, I quickly realized that for me, waking up and going for a jog, 20x the evening jog. And I'll tell you what, this is why I'd be a fan of it, and it's right up my alley. When I used to go for a jog in the evening, it was kind of draining out all the stuff that happened that day, and I was trying to get it out of my system. But what I learned, if I could go for my jog in the morning, then the stuff wouldn't even get in my system. It just kind of like bounce off. It kind of bounce off like, in many words, my bulletproof vest made of Teflon. Is that what a bulletproof vest is? I'm pretty sure it's Teflon. So The first time I ever went for a jog was in the morning, but that didn't really count. The second time I built up the habit, and then I went for a jog. And remember, guys, I don't recommend doing this, but I didn't wait to get fancy shoes. I didn't wait to get shorts. I didn't wait, because all of that was just another obstacle or another reason not to do it. Should I have been wearing the Bershka shoes? No. God, I should have invested in shoes quite quicker. But it was more the principle of, I'm not going to let something stop me from doing this. Which often my brain does. It'll try to find an excuse or something. Well, we could do that, but we're not going to, because you have to do this or da. It was a straight A to B, and there was no excuse or no bullshit in between it. So that morning when I got up for a jog on my day off, I came home and I ended up writing like 3 songs. And I ended up just like kind of realizing, whoa, I feel a lot more free and a lot more full, and loose to be able to like exercise my creative muscles. So I realized that, and I actually wrote late nights. I actually wrote the hook to late nights, which was actually great. Now thinking back, that one of my first morning jogs was late nights. The hook I wrote for it. Really cool memory. And I wrote it in like a box room with like wires hanging down from the ceiling, a small little shitty desk. It wasn't the best desk. Again, was thankful for having it at the time, but in retrospect, because I put it together, it was an alright desk, but I put it together fucking what was it via? It was, them flat packs you put together, and Jesus, I think one of the lads may have given me a hand too, but she was she was a bit rough. And it used to shake left and right. Anyhow, wrote that there, and that was January 2020, and I was like, whoa, my life is starting to change. February, I stopped jogging. February hits and I stopped jogging. Just basically stopped. One morning I looked at the window, it was raining, and I didn't go for the whole month of February, and that was jogging over. So again, was beating myself up about it. I was thinking, damn, how do I get back to jogging? And then March hit, and then, long story short, COVID-wovey, and as soon as that came, I was like, well, I gotta go jogging now. I'll go crazy if I don't go. So I went back to jogging, and then every day in lockdown, every day, as well as smoking some rollies and eating Dominoes for that like March to May 2020, I was just jogging every day. Used to jog at the Black Rock, meditate on the like stone pier that goes out a little bit and like goes out into the water. One day I jogged down there. I was just in the rhythm every day. I was doing like 4 or 5 miles, like, I don't know, 8-9 kilometers, whatever that is, every day. Jogged down to Black Rock one day. At this point, my fear of water was still pretty high. I'll touch on breaking that fear. That's going to be a great episode whenever I do that. So I remember one day I was down at Black Rock after a great jog, because jogging became so much more than just going for a jog and exercising. I got to start discovering new places that I just wouldn't have went if I didn't choose to jog. So when I started jogging all around like Dundurm area, like anything like 10-mile radius of that, and I was coming up Black Rock and Dunleary, places like this, places that like I just wouldn't have really taken any initiative to visit. I'd been in 1 or 2 of them, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, I could jog there and just like check it out, I guess it's like when someone gets a car. Maybe same thing. So I started jogging all these places, and I was like, oh wow, there's so many beautiful places around here. And the more I was jogging, the more I was discovering. But anyways, go back to Black Rock, and I go out into, there's like a pier, and it goes out into the water, and the tide was in. So I kind of balance out the pier, like as the water's up really high. I'm thinking, oh, this is not a great idea. And there's like waves hitting, chow, 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 as I like walked out this like stone pier, but it was kind of thin enough. I wonder if there's it's beside the train station in or where the Dart is or something in Black Rock. I think if you've ever been to Black Rock, you might know what I'm on about. If you haven't, I'll just try my best. So, hot day, April 2020. Chow, chow, chow. Waves are beeping off this pier as it goes out a little bit into the ocean. So I'm sitting on the pier then meditating as the water's like, because I wanted to like start kind of like introducing the idea of breaking the fear of water too. So I wanted to introduce that fear of breaking the water. So I meditated there, gently walked out then as the waves were hitting the sides, and like got off the pier, and I was like, man, that was definitely a stupid idea. But because I started jogging, all these random experiences and random conversations I would have and people I would meet, just as you do, going out into the world more via jogging. So jogging became almost my like me discovering new places, me having the chance to like have new conversations with random people I would meet, like I would do anyways. But here's the thing, when you're just after jogging, you're on fucking top of the moon, man. Life is incredible. That fucking runner's high is real. It is 110.2% real. So because I'm in such a good mood, I'm just open to like chatting to so many people and just random conversations, discovering new areas, meditating in incredible spots. So that kind of was another discovery of them then, like that chapter months in Dublin. I was like, wow, jogging's not just me going out to exercise. Jogging is getting me up in the morning, giving me this bulletproof Teflon almost vest, making me feel positive, making me feel passionate, making me feel like I have a task that I have to do in order to accomplish something. What comes with that is the discovery of new places, meeting new people, seeing other joggers. It sounds cringe, but when I see another jogger and run past, I clap and like, go on, my man, like, whatever, like, and I cheer them on, like, and they always laugh or whatever. Now they probably think, God knows what they think, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it's funny, like, and it's nice because that's the feeling. It's like you want to cheer people on and let them know that it is fucking incredible what they're doing. So jogging became so much more than I ever even imagined it would be. And I just kept the habit. I just kept it. I moved to Galway then, and when I moved to Galway, the first thing I did that day when I moved into a new house, boom, went for a jog. And I was like, what comes with that? I get to see new places. I get to figure out new spots of where I'm at. And I've kind of kept doing that over the years, be it like Galway, Athlone, or be it like San Andreo in Barcelona. When we were living in this little apartment in Barcelona, and it was right down the road from New Camp. So maybe in the past, even though I was right beside the New Camp, I might not have been pushed to go down and check out the New Camp just because of maybe my mentality in previous years. But now that I began jogging and I'm a jogger, then I was like, yeah, man, it's only like 2 miles down the road. Let me jog down to the New Camp. So times like that where my jogging route would be jogging down to the New Camp and around, I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. Now I would say that got boring after about a week of doing that because I didn't actually go in and check out the stadium, which I should have. I don't know why I didn't. But anyways, after about a week of doing that, I I stopped that. But times like that and different places have just led me to so many different and random experiences. And hiking, even when I was living in Sitges there back in last year, one day there was a mountain, and again, jogging incentivizes me to do things I wouldn't usually do. I wouldn't usually hike, and I wouldn't usually take the time out of my day to go do something like that. But, well, man, it's only like 3 miles down the road. I could jog it, hike it, all of a sudden it opens this chapter of opportunity that I never knew existed in my life. And that time in Sitges, where there was a lovely mountains and hills in Sitges. So Sitges, for those of you who don't know, is a seaside town about it's about 50 minutes outside Barcelona. I lived there for 4.5 months, 4 months. Wonderful experience. I'll delve into that. Guys, I'm always saying I'll delve into that in the future. I could just delve into it right now. Probably the reason I don't usually delve into things like that is because I'm trying to keep things on some kind of topic, because you know how to get distracted, or two, there's just a whole story to it that deserves a podcast by itself. So I was living in Sitges, wonderful time in my life, and one day I just took a normal jogging route that I used to do down from our house to the church, down this boulevard. Used to wake up, right, and we were living right beside the water, obviously the beach. And I put on, this is going to be funny now. I put on John Cena's how's the intro song go again? Da, 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 da. And I keep playing it over and over. The start of it, doom, doom, and then close my eyes as I came around the corner to the boulevard, and then let the beat drop, da, 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 and then with my headphones on, jogging, and I'd see the water and the sun shining, hitting the water, and like the boulevard, and so many people up and down it, and just like, oh fuck, this is absolutely sensational. So I would do that every day, and I took the normal jogging route one day, and that I'd take from the house down the boulevard to the church. And I got down to the church, and there was like a little festival on or something. Actually, it was near Christmas time. Essentially, was at the little festival, and then I was like, I could see how far the mountains are. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then I looked it up, and I was like, the mountain, like the hills and whatnot, they're only like, they're 2 miles. And because when you start jogging, what once felt far away, like 7 miles or 8 miles, when you get used to doing that, it no longer feels like it's that long of a distance. Don't get me wrong, it's still a substantial amount of fucking length, like Jesus. But it's kind of, you're looking at it through a different lens. You're looking at it as, well, I could do that, and I know I can do that. So that's what I did. I just jogged up past this like police station markets, or there's like supermarket. Actually, lovely story. I might as well tell you this. I don't usually tell people this, but I'll tell it anyways. Past the supermarket, seemed like a dude chilling. Obviously he's homeless and whatnot. So I when I can, like, I'll bop into the supermarket and get like the homeless lads like a water and banana or something. I usually get chocolate, water, and banana. And again, I don't usually tell people this because like it's just something you do that you don't tell people. But here, you're halfway through a podcast. I'm having my podcast, so if you're halfway through this, I'm sure you'd appreciate me telling you that. So it's just nice gestures, and everybody does it. Like it's just some people choose to tell people the whole time when they do it, or maybe not. But I would be fine if I can giving something. So yeah, I just went in, got him an old banana. I had a few bananas because I was starving. Because I fucking love bananas. Prefixed it for serotonin, potassium. Oh, it just gets you going. I love bananas, man. So anyways, I went in the supermarket, get myself a can of Coke and a banana and a banana water. I think I might got some chocolate. Give that to him. Good little good deed, little good karma in there. Big believer in karma, just being able to give good deeds when you can. Do good deeds when you can. So anyways, jogging up got up to the hills, and then in Sitges it was like the Mansion Hills of Hollywood. So I was passing all these mad houses, and I actually accidentally stabbed myself on this real pointy green kind of leaf. I went to like grab a stone or something because I was wrecked going up the hills because it was just really tough, and I stabbed myself a little bit and I was bleeding. It was so spiky. It was like this, I don't know, this leaf spiky, and then I was like, damn, in my mind I was like, damn, I hope that wasn't poisonous or anything. I was like, I am in Spain, Jesus, I hope that wasn't poisonous. It wasn't poisonous. So anyways, got to the top of the hill, and I was just wrecked, but like, again, felt great because of jogging, and I got to see the view of Sitges all because jogging, and just like having that ability and that skill and that muscle built up, that like it was nothing to go up there. Took a lot physically, but mentally I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? And it's just another great example of something being gifted from me taking like the opportunity of jogging and something cool like that happening. Finding myself on top of a mountain in Sitges looking at the beautiful town. So that was wonderful. And then I ended up going into the forest and looking for snakes. Yeah, I've a weird fascination with snakes because when I lived in Spain, man, I was the whole time trying to find them. I like them. Alright, sorry, I don't like them. I'm scared of them, I would say. But I kind of was like, man, there's definitely snakes around here somewhere. So I'd be the whole time going into the forest trying to find them. And I could never see them. But maybe they were just good at hiding. So I ended up going to a forest that time, just having a look around, and that was beautiful and stuff. But kind of the moral of the story is that jogging gave me so many different things that I never would have done, and like so many opportunities. And then when I ended up doing the marathon, that was just that was just one of the greatest times of my life, greatest moments of my life. And I'll there will be an episode coming up shortly about the marathon story, because boy, they had a good story. They had a good story, boy. That's such a good story. But one of the best moments of my life was I did the marathon. And I remember the day after, I was in Heathrow Airport coming home, and I was just fucked. I was just, oh my God, like I was very frail. I was a frail human being. And I remember, why was it I was looking at the TV or something? And I was thinking to myself, I just did the marathon, and I was thinking to myself, like if I told this to my younger self, because that was never in my plans. Becoming a jogger and getting into jogging and that type of exercise was never in my life plans, like when I was a kid or when I was younger. Like it's never something I wrote in as like start jogging, do some marathons or become an ultra marathon runner at some point in my life. But I sat in Heathrow after thinking of the moments of the marathon. Like I remember I was running over Tower Bridge. I'll delve a little bit into it just because it's all about jogging. But long story short, I was running over Tower Bridge and fucking hell, just fucking was on top of the world. Was absolutely on top of the world. Like I just looked over London Bridge. So many different things within the marathon, and again we'll delve into that another time. But some of the takeaways just was running over Tower Bridge, and I looked over and I seen the sun just again beaming off, just like Sitges, just like other times in my life. And I thought of Run Fat Boy Run, for anyone who knows that movie. Turns out it's not a very well known movie. I'm a bit of a movie buff now, so I like to, apart from certain genres of movies nowadays, certain like kind of like Netflix movies I'm not gone on. But overall, I would say I'm a movie buff. That I have a good idea, general movies across the board. Anything from like 1980 to like 2019. I have a weird thing with the 20 like anything, all the movies from like 2018 onwards these days. Some really good gems, but I just have this weird thing with the production that I'm not gone on. But that's being picky. So I was running over Tower Bridge, and I took a second, I looked around, and I just thought everything hit me. Everything like that I started jogging from all the way back in 2020, and the reason I started jogging, and all the shit I've been through in my life, the ups and downs, the real toughy times where it seemed like my world was ending, and everything from the ups, downs, everything in between. And I looked around, I was on Tower Bridge, and it was like someone just grabbed me and just fucking I started levitating in the air. That's like the only way to describe it, like that kind of high. And people were shouting, not for me, but people, I suppose they were, I guess. People were shouting like, go on, and kind of shouting everyone on. And it was just, it was like, my God. It's like, I was so thankful to be alive. So thankful, so thankful, and so thankful for starting jogging and taking that random fucking opportunity on that Sunday morning or whatever it was, and listening to the lad I live with, just to take a fucking chance on myself and go for it. So yeah, wowzers, what a moment that was. What a powerful moment that was. So doing the marathon or whatever, and I was in Heathrow, and I was just thinking of the day after again was in Heathrow, and I was just thinking of, wow, I would have never thought that I would ever do a marathon or ever become a jogger. So the takeaways from, I guess, from that story is like, don't shut down what possibly could be around the corner, or that one chance you might take that brings you down the road that you just never expected. And that could be so many different things. I guess it's just taking a chance on things, just being willing to try and being willing to give something your best shot. And when you give something your best shot, if it's not for you, then so be it. But I would rather give something my best shot knowing that I give it my best shot than regret not doing it. And boy, there's a very good quote. And the quote is, I have never regretted going for a jog, ever. So it could be jogging, it could be horse riding, it could be, I don't know, it could be a whole myriad of different unique things out there that is just waiting around the corner for you to take a chance on and just go for it. Because no, you don't see yourself. When you start something new, number one, you feel like a fool. That's just the reality of it. You don't know anything about it, so you're like, I feel like a fool doing this. But if you can break through that first little chapter and then get over that little first chapter and get to chapter 2, and then wow, you start reading different sentences, reading different emotional sentences that you never know existed. That's how I would explain it. So yeah, that is episode number 5, jogging. And what a last 3.5 years it's been. jogging, and from the different places it brought me, from the marathon and all around Athlone. Funny enough, it's just random places. When I live somewhere, I turned out not knowing a lot about the place, because I end up like just going to random places within the radius, I guess. So from like Spain to Galway to Dublin to, well, areas of Dublin, I guess, to like Galway town and stuff, just finding little unique little ponds or just hills or just places that I wouldn't have found if I didn't go jogging. And one last thing, I guess, is what jogging has done for me is it's dripped in. I sound like I'm trying to sell it. Again, guys, that's $10.99. I'm doing a good deal right at the moment. That's only $10.99. PayPal me right now. Jokes. But it's dripped into everything in my life for the discipline of it. And that discipline it's one of the stable points of my life, having that discipline and making sure that I stay disciplined across the board. And when I stay jogging, I stay disciplined. And that's kind of like how I live my life. When I stay jogging, I stay disciplined. So yeah, that has been episode 5 of One Step at a Time. And I guess my takeaway of one step at a time is take a little step. If it's jogging, then my best advice is go for a walk. Go for a walk. Start off walking. Then get some kind of pair of shoes and go for 1 kilometer. Just do a little. Just a little. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry. Just start walking. Then get some shoes. If you can't afford your shoes yet, then just get your walk in and start your walking. And then when you can get enough just for a basic pair of shoes, or best pair of running shoes, do a kilometer. Just try 1 kilometer every day. Just 1 kilometer. Then maybe 2 kilometers. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about the time. And then just slowly build it up. And trust me, my God, it'll be worth it. But yeah, that's jogging it is. Guys, this has been another episode of One Step at a Time with yours truly, the Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with 0 delays. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. If you're on Spotify, be sure to like, follow and give the 5 stars. And tell a friend or tell a family member or give a share. Be very much appreciated. I hope you have a good day, good week, good year. Whenever you hear this, hey, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Guys, come on. It's been another episode. Have a lovely time. God bless.
Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be bright.